When the machines finally become self-aware and set out to destroy us all, we'll have only one hope to save ourselves, and that's to insert a copy of this game into every last freaking one of them. Because from the looks of it, my PlayStation 2 legitimately considered pulling its own plug the moment it finished loading Terminator 3: Rise of the Machines. Hasta la vista, baby! This game should be terminated! Released in late 2003, Terminator 3: Rise of the Machines is based on the Terminator movie of the same name. And honestly, you'd think if there's one movie franchise well suited for video game adaptation, it would be Terminator. Terminator is basically just a video game without a controller anyway. But like so many games before it, Rise of the Machines continues one of the gaming industry's longest-held traditions, proving itself utterly incapable of making a good Terminator game. For PS2 fans, all this dark, blurry, nondescript nonsense might look kind of familiar. Terminator 3 was developed by Black Ops Entertainment using the same engine they used for the game Fugitive Hunter, one of the absolute worst first-person shooters on the system. And that doesn't bode well for Terminator 3, especially when you consider the game's rushed development. Even though Fugitive Hunter was in development for about 4 years, Rise of the Machines beat it to store shelves by a week. And I mean, if Fugitive Hunter couldn't turn out right after 4 years, Terminator 3 it didn't even have a chance. Of course, reason being, with no budget, results typically flounder. This game was being developed at the same time Atari was funding its Enter the Matrix game, which left this game with fewer resources. That's one of the biggest reasons this game is as god-awful as it is, even with Arnold Schwarzenegger's timeless one-liners.
Affirmative. Come with me if you want to live.
So what makes this game bad? You mean, apart from everything? Well, let's start with those graphics and the presentation, because that's an area in which Terminator 3's atrociousness is abundantly clear. The textures are noticeably low-res, the entire game is just way too dark. I mean, not even a high-poly nude model of Kristana Loken could save this game's look, and rest assured, it doesn't have one. But it's about more than just crappy graphics. That also has a real impact on the game's presentation. The cutscenes are just really clunky and uninspired, and in a more practical area, shooting robots and causing explosions just isn't nearly as satisfying as it should be. The enemies don't react when you're shooting them, and that takes a lot away from the gameplay. As does the chugging frame rate. I need your clothes, boots, and motorcycle. The frame rate chugs. But the worst thing about Terminator 3 is how clunky the gameplay is. I mean, this is a first-person shooter that felt last gen, and playing it now makes its shortcomings even more apparent. Rise of the Machines amounts to locking onto your targets and just blasting, kinda like Metroid Prime. Only that works in the exploration-based Metroid Prime. In a game that emphasizes shooting, on the other hand, not so much. It's mindless, it's boring, and even worse, again, it's clunky. And then there's these fighting sections. Ugh! You kill me! Do it now! I'm right here! Still, we have to thank our good friend Paul from California for sending us Terminator 3: Rise of the Machines, a game every bit as disgraceful as Paul's former governor. Do it now!